Good morning. It's April 6, 2021. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey with Center Church. This is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel because Jesus is the gospel. We've been looking at the wisdom of Jesus, the book of Proverbs. We're in Proverbs chapter 3 right now. We ended, I believe, last week in verse 5 of chapter 3. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. And again, wanting to emphasize, this is not about anti-intellectualism. It's not about being against learning and knowledge. This entire book is about gaining wisdom, gaining knowledge. Really, this entire book is about learning. So it's not about an anti-intellectualism. It's about understanding the limits of human understanding when it comes to this world. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways. So this applies to all of life. Again, the Christian worldview is comprehensive. It's not a compartmentalized worldview. I mean, this is my spirituality right over here in Christianity, and then I look to everything else in the world for how to live life, type of thing. But this is about applying the wisdom of living life. And no matter what you're doing in life, you're kind of goes without saying, you're living life no matter what you're doing. So it's about talking about when you go to work, there's a way to conduct yourself at work that is wise and unwise. There's a way that you conduct yourself at work that is godly and ungodly. In your relationships, in your marriage, when your relationships, I'm talking about all your friendships, all your relationship with your children, your marriage relationship, the gamut of all relationships. And again, the whole idea here is the gamut of all of life. There's a wise way to spend your money. There's a wise way to deal with the downtrodden, so to speak. There's a wise way to deal with those who have less than you. There's a wise way to be poor. There's a wise way to be rich, etc., etc. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. It's kind of a clunky way of saying it, but he'll make your paths straight is basically the idea. In other words, human beings have this illusion that they have so much control over their lives. When as you start living life, there's so much you don't have control over. Let's just start with this. Let's start with your temperament. To be quite frank, you had no control over the temperament you were born with. You have a temperament. Some of us are high-strung. Some of us are low-key. Some of us are complete worrywarts. And it goes beyond being a worrywart, and that's even a hard word to say. So anxiety-ridden. Some of us, that is our temperament. We're anxiety-ridden. And many people are anxiety-ridden to the point that it debilitates them. I think it was even, I don't know if it was John Calvin or Martin Lloyd-Jones, but somebody I was reading, somebody smarter than me, put it that way. See, it's not about anti-intellectualism, but someone smarter than me said that some people are born with a temperament that doesn't allow them to enjoy life. And he's talking about Christian people. Now I had one of those temperaments. I have one of those temperaments. I tend to, live in regret, worry about things that I have no control over, right? Now, it's been tempered. My temperament has been tempered by my faith in Christ, thank God. But it's taken me a lot of focus on verses like, do not be anxious for anything, right? But in all your ways acknowledge him. Like he has it. It's learning to trust him when I know that, but it's taken a lifetime of learning. I don't really have control. There are so many things I don't have control over. I didn't have control over my temperament. But what I can do with the temperament that I've been born with, in God's good purposes, and some of this is what? Well, because we live in a fallen world, our temperaments are skewed. Our temperaments are part of our fallen nature. So our temperaments are also fallen. There's not a part of humanity that hasn't been affected by the fall of man. And our temperaments are one of those things. But through the redemption in Christ, through our relationship with Jesus Christ, provided by God, the free gift of salvation, this relationship where we're now placed in Christ to live life there, I can learn to, well, in one sense, it is how you can control your temperament. So I can't control it, but when I put my faith in Christ, that is a way that, in one sense, I can't. It's the idea that I'm not strong within myself to do the things the Lord needs me to do, but in Christ, I learn how I can be strong, but it's not me. It's his strength, right? It's that dichotomy of the Christian life. When we're weak, he is strong. So when I trust myself less to fix my anxiety and I put it all on him, I trust him more. So anyway, it's just one example of how he will make our paths straight when we look to him and trust in him. We'll keep along this theme this week. All right, now what's God said to you today?